I'm not used to that. So this is our 8-week educational event, and it's hosted here on ZSR. 2026 is year 2 of the program, so it's still very new. For this year, we have 10 mentors and 36 mentees. The mentors are Mughal Owase28, TGH, Lictanzi, Yeroc, Lucencio, PH112358, Meowski, Blunt Bunny, and Coin Chaser. This group of 36 mentees includes 13 first-time speedrunners and 3 runners aiming for a top leaderboard time, plus everything kind of in between. The mode for this run is no major glitches, any percent, and it is no save and quit. It is not randomized, and this is generally referred to as the main run for this game. But there are a lot of different modes with various rule sets, and you will see Japanese text, and we use version 1.0 for the run since it does not have the glitches patched out, and the Japanese characters create less text boxes. So each Sunday we will have a live lecture, and you should probably save your questions for the end or for your mentor, just so that we can be sure to get through the entire section. The cap is 2 hours, and the presenter for this week is Yeroc.
Hello. Guess we'll come over to this scene. Welcome in, everybody. Not sure what this is going to look like on the broadcast, but we'll get that sorted out in due time. Yeah, so we're gonna start at the beginning of the game. I don't know where to I don't know where to start with this. It's a lot easier to like pick up in the middle after somebody else got us over to kicked us off. But this like Pop said, this is the any percent, no major glitches, no save and quit category. And we're gonna start at the beginning, but we're really gonna start in how you can, as a runner, can feel more comfortable in preparing yourself for that run. And so that starts here in the practice hack, which there's links available. Screwy. But in the practice hack itself has lots of options, configuration stuff. Like I can turn the music back on, but for the sake of this presentation, I'm just going to leave it off. It has lots of tools for helping you practice specific parts of your speedruns, and I won't get into all of that, but like the big thing that you need to know is there's a whole series of like preset save states that we're going to use to jump around the run and work through it. And so starting at the very beginning of the game, it'll send you right to the beginning of the game as if you like kicked off a run itself. And the very first thing is a 30-second long cutscene where you get to mash a bunch of buttons. Once you do that, your uncle will leave, and you are free to roam about, your house as you will. So we're gonna set a save state here and just kind of walk through. Like the first thing that we want to do is we want to go to the castle. And since I'm supposed to cover basic movement techniques, we'll do a little bit of that. I'll kind of talk about pumping. I'm gonna like mention as we go through the run. I'm gonna mention like bits and pieces of advanced movement techniques that you can use. Like the overarching principle I want you all to be aware of, since we know that we're dealing with a large summary, like a large spectrum of different skill levels. Feel free to just ignore the things that I talk about if it's not helpful to you. Like if you're trying to do something and you find that it's really just getting in your way and slowing you down, just don't do it. pumping is one of those things, right? So the way pumping works is every time you change direction, the game resets your subpixel value. And so because there's a little bit of like, I guess it's floating point, it's probably fixed point arithmetic. Basically, it rounds you to the nearest like up left pixel that you were, of whatever pixel you were standing on, and it causes you to go faster when you're moving in the upward or the leftward direction. And that's the basics of it. So after that, there's things like stair lag cancels and stuff. So let's go back and like kind of cover. There's oh gosh, there's so many things. So we talked about pumping. Then I mean, there's all sorts of other movement techniques. There's like, if we come in here, first key guard is a pretty good example. There's a spiral staircase. There's a there's like stair lag cancels that we can get into. I'm trying to remember what other things I wanted to tell you all about. Maybe we'll just go through the route and I'll get through them as we go. So we did that, and I kind of showed you where to go from Link's bed. Yeah, there is a lot of movement in this game that's really kind of hard to really dig into. Like, I could sit here for 2 hours and talk about all of it. So, right, we'll start with the route, and we'll get back to the rest of it. You can just use. I wanted to talk about things like how to cancel text boxes and things like that. Picking up bushes is. Gosh, my thoughts are all over the place. All right, so. Like I said, the route is you leave your house and you make your way to Hyrule Castle. And the only place you can get in is back here. And then you come in here and you talk to your uncle and you get a sword. And what he says isn't really important. And then we keep going. And we can ignore all of this stuff because we don't need... There's a chest over there that's just a lamp. Or 5 rupees. We don't need to worry about that. And now that we have a sword, we can get through. This is the courtyard. And these guards are going to kind of be a pain in the butt. Because of course they are. And so then we come into the entrance of Hyrule Castle. And again, there's like lots of guard RNG movements that you kind of got to watch out for. I don't really want to go over a lot of these in detail because you're going to spend a lot of time in Escape as you get better at speedrunning, and you're going to kind of just learn how to like deal with a bunch of these patterns. So we're making our way down into the dungeon of the castle. There's like an up slash strat that you probably want to use here. You can do left slash, but I don't know. Find the thing that works for you. You kill that guy, grab the key, and you move on. And then we make our way. It's kind of just follow the path sort of thing. Pump here as you want. You want to move up here to dodge that guy so that he doesn't see you. And then before you go in this door, you want to hold your sword out so that you can spin that guy and kill him. Alright. Next, we come to this this blue second key guard. That last guy, you don't have to move left at all unless he goes left. So you just walk up a little bit until your spin is charged and kill him so that the shutter door will open. Coming into this room, you want to like hold your sword out early. You can do it as late as like right here. But for the sake of timing that is a little tricky. So you just poke him, and then you want to actually let go of the sword before you drop it, so that the spin will hit him, and then you can pick up that key with the boomerang as you walk out the door. So like I said, you can do this as far down as like right here. And then you just grab the key and carry on. Use that key to open this door. and then we go down these stairs. Pump against this wall if you want to, and then this right here. Oops, not that one. I want that. All right. So now we're at the first like mini boss fight. There's a few ways to do this room. The fastest strat is called 8/. But I'll go ahead and demonstrate like some of the easier things. We'll start with one pot, which I think is what most people are going to probably gravitate towards. Oh, I'm not very good at this strat. So you come in here, you grab this pot, and you... Wow. And you just put him in that corner, hit him 4 more times, and then you boom the key and walk back to the door. If you don't like that one, there is a 2-pot strat, where you grab a pot, and you want to get to like right here, I think is about the earliest that you can throw the pot so that you can save time and kill him. I'll show you that like at speed. You want to boom this guy. If you're doing 2-pot strat, you want to boom that guy because he can get in your way. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Perfect. Let's try a slightly better version. Alright, boom that guy. Good. Grab. Do it again. Boom the key. And then 8/, of course, boom that guy if he gets in your way, and then you like go down here, and you try and kind of keep him in this area, so that you can just boom the key like that. Anyway, once you've done all of this, we move on to actually talking to the princess. And then we get a lamp. And again, this guy, if he's in your way still, you can boom him to get him out of the way. And then we're going to just make our way back out of the castle. A lot of this backtracking, there's not a lot of pumping going on because we're generally moving like to the right and down. So you just kind of walk. Like this is a nice like break after 3 minutes of trying to do things very intensely. We like to take this little shortcut to get back to upstairs, because then we get to dodge all of those guards right there. And then the last thing we have to worry about is like dodging this guy, because he'll sometimes aggro and he can hit you. Like if he aggroes really quickly, he can just hit you. So now that we've done all of that, we've rescued the princess, we come back upstairs and we just find our way back around. Now we have a boomerang, which is really nice for trying to deal with this hallway. And of course, like the RNG that I get just walking through it, they kind of stay out of your way. But don't be shy about using the boom to stun those guards, because they take 2 hits with your sword. So like using the boom to just immobilize them is a lot easier. And we make our way up here to the throne room. I wanted to talk about what's going on in the throne room. Really? Oh, it just starts here. Alright, so... Well, that's the part that I want to talk about anyway. So, as you're walking to these stairs, you want to like stay in the middle until you get to the stairs, and then you can switch to up left, because you actually climb the stairs at the same speed, and you get free movement to the left right here if you wait until you're on the stairs to like come over here, because you're gonna push this mantelpiece all the way over to here. This right here is the visual cue. This is what you want to care about. And so Link's... Zelda, you're in the way. Link's hat lining up with these dark pixels is kind of what you want to look for, because you don't want to push this like all the way open. Like that's just wasting time. And you can, as you get better at this, right, you got 2 text boxes to cancel, and you're generally going to like come up here, but as you get better at this, you can actually like be as far down here to cancel this, and it's still just waiting until it lines up. After that, we're going to move through the sewer passages. Little pumping is necessary. Sometimes the rats get in the way. This room is all kinds of fun. Is this a snake avoidance room? Perfect. Alright, so here's a good example of a stair drag cancel. Like this one's relatively important because you're dealing with a light cone and you kind of can't see like what's going on in this room. You just want to hold left out of this door, and then as soon as you can walk again, that's when you transition to down left. So you can see like what the snakes are doing so that you can avoid them. It's generally a good habit. Well, actually, I kind of didn't do it on purpose, but so like if you hold down left, you see Link kind of like stutters a little bit, and you can't see what's going on. But if you hold left and then transition to down, you don't do that stutter, and you move faster. So this is a good habit to get into in certain rooms. And as you progress in the speedrun, you'll figure these things out. Like it just becomes part of how you handle that specific room. Like door transitions, stair transitions, things like that. Every single one of them, I know it feels overwhelming, but like every single one of them, there will be a thing for you to figure out. It's just part of how that room works. And so for this, like these guys can be in any particular kind of like pattern. You can't walk above them. Like if they're in the middle row, like you get hit by snakes. So you have to like go below them in order to be safe. Always fun when they're just grouped up like that. You can like walk between them. Wow, I got hit super early. If they would show me. Of course it's not going to. Oh, that's like the worst pattern. But yeah. This room takes a little bit of getting used to. And then we're here in Dark Cross and we need this key. Let's go back to this and set a save state. So you can like get between those two snakes there. Alright. There's always going to be this guy. For whatever reason, there's always going to be this snake coming down at you. And you kind of want to... You want to like get against this wall, but you don't want to just diagonal to this wall. Because if you noticed, the keys aggroed when I did that. So you want to like... You actually kind of want to just go ahead and like either wait for just a little bit before you diagonal, or you can like pump to get over to that wall. And then once you do that, you want to try and like stay down here, because as soon as you walk off the wall, that is what aggroes that key. And you want him to stay there for as long as possible. So you boom that guy, and then you nudge that wall and walk over and get this door or this key. And then what I like to do from there is just walk straight so that he aggroes, and he'll always like go around you if you walk in that pattern. So you do that, and then sometimes you have to like boom the other snakes, and then he gets out of the way, and you can just diagonal up and walk out here. Now we're into the sewer rooms. You get a little text box here. This is a room where we call this water pumping. This is a room where pumping is actually like really, really good. It saves a lot of time to pump through. If you pump nowhere else, try and do a little bit of water pumping in these two rooms. It just makes because of the way that the movement through water, like shallow water, works. It's just a lot easier. So then we come to the key rat, who can be all sorts of places. If you miss him, don't worry about it. Generally, you want to like be up there so that you can catch most of the RNGs, and then you just kill him and boom the key. You're gonna try and avoid walking too far away from it. Like just then, of course, that guy got in the way. If he goes up here, it's not a big deal. Like you can just do it as quickly as like that, and then try and grab the key. We still get it. We still got it. But then you want to like go, because of the way these keys work, you want to like come around this corner until they until they aggro. And sometimes they get in the way, so you have to like wait a little bit. But then we move on to just the last couple of rooms, and you push this block, and then you move on. Sometimes you have to like dodge different RNGs, so like these are kind of gross. We'll do like that. Sometimes you have to like slash that guy. Sometimes you can just boom there. Sometimes you're just gonna get hit. And then moving on the last two rooms, like this rat right here can sometimes get in your way. The safest thing to do is just walk until you're past the door. Like Link's, you can see Link's hat is like past the door. And then you can transition to down left to walk between the pots. Sometimes the rats get in your way there. This room right here. Alright, there's a text box right there that you want to avoid. And the way that you do that is you just hold right out of this door. It doesn't slow you down to hold right to force yourself to walk out of a vertical door. So that's a really convenient piece of movement tech. So you just hold right here, and then you can transition to down right before you get to the corner, but to be safe, like you can just walk all the way to the corner and do like that. And then you're going to get this text box, and then you want to grab this lever and pull it down. Some advanced runners will just hold A coming into the screen the whole way. So like I'll be holding A, and you can, what that does is it lets you, as soon as you're close enough to the lever, you'll latch onto it, and then you can just you let the D-pad go neutral for at least a frame, and then tap down and he'll pull on it. So you can just like do like this. And then I didn't get my rat frames, but once you do that, then we're out of the way into Sanctuary. You cannot skip the second cutscene. You have to watch that one. But you can just push L and R so that you don't have to like accidentally perform an action with one of the buttons. So you can just sit there and match L and R like that. And then I don't know if we want to talk about rat frames, but if you slash your sword and get hit while you're standing in that doorway, you'll get into this animation, which despawns your shield and makes this text box go faster. That's definitely a question for your mentor about whether or not you want to bother with this, but it's there, so I'm calling it out. We always talk about how fun it is to get rat frames, and then everybody wants Sankheart, and then just walk down the stairs. Walking downstairs, let's talk briefly about stair walking. I talked about how you want to, in the throne room, I talked about how you want to like up left on the staircase because it doesn't slow you down. The same is kind of true for walking downstairs, but you want to make sure that you're not changing direction while you're walking downstairs. Changing direction while you're walking upstairs can help you, and we'll get to that in just a minute, but rule of thumb, when you're walking downstairs, don't change your direction because it slows you down. So now that we've gotten out of Hyrule Castle, we're going to make our way to Eastern Palace. And on this next screen right here, let me go back and, where is my preset config? Safeties, turn on Sankheart just for... After cutscene. Perfect. I guess I need that. So on this next screen, we're just going to make our way over here. there's a RNG manipulation with this guard right here, depending on how, like what pixel vertically you enter this screen. The visual cue is like this rock here. If you look here in the corner, these are your coordinates. Anything above 0577, I think, is what you want. 0577 and above. Which conveniently is like lined up with these big rocks. The guard will be walking up and down, and you can get past him before he notices you. If you are below 0577 and you walk onto this screen, he'll be walking to the left and he'll see you, and you'll have to boom him, and that wastes time. So a good rule of thumb is just like walk to that rock and then turn left, and then you can kind of like nudge around this thing or try and diagonal onto it. I like to diagonal at the end of that screen to kind of make that screen a little bit comfier. Just because as you're diagonaling, you're not wasting movement because you have to do it anyway, right? But if you're already aligned with this tree, then you get further into the screen before he notices you, and he's less likely to hit you. So you just like move up. You basically just like move up like half a tile so that you don't have to do that movement right here. But that's a preference that I have. Anyway, moving on. Just go across the bridge, dodge these guys, and then we come to the Octorok screen. And this is all sorts of fun. Like, you can make it through here without having to do anything, but like sometimes I think the RNG might it's not quite set. I think that guy's RNG is set, so this isn't going to be a great... Let's do this. Sometimes they'll be nice to you, sometimes they'll get in your way. I haven't gotten any bad RNGs yet, of course. Just boom them or slash them as you go, because one slash will kill them. But anyway, what we're trying to do is we're making our way to Eastern Palace, which is coming down there, coming around here. You generally want to boom that guy as you get close to him, and then... I didn't need to do that. We're just trying to get to the entrance to the overworld. We have a few staircases that we want to walk up and down. Like I mentioned earlier, walking up staircases, you can do what's called stair pumping, which in most cases, if it's like a single tile wide staircase, you can just basically like just wiggle the D-pad back and forth, and you can kind of see. So like if I just walk up the staircase normally, I'm moving it like 3/4 of a pixel per frame, which is, so you move 1 pixel for 3 frames and then 0 pixels for the 4th, and it just repeats that pattern over and over again. Like I said before, you can't do much about it when you're moving down. You just kind of have to like walk down the stairs. But when you're moving up, you can get these like diagonal inputs that make you walk up the stairs faster, because it resets that 1110 counter. And so you just move up the staircase at 1 pixel per frame. And that's actually enough to get you past this guard before he gets close enough to like aggro to you. So it's a good thing to practice there. Once we get to Eastern Palace, you just go through the first screen, step on that switch, get through there, dodge all the cannonballs. I'm not sure what the correct option is for the backup. If you're getting 2 bottles and you need money, the bottle vendor costs. You're actually supposed to jump down. But you can walk over here. That chest right there has 100 rupees for you if you need it. But generally, you don't want that. You just want to like come over here and just dodge the cannonballs, go up the stairs, and on the way we go. All right, so let's start here. All right, you just walk in, grab the pot, and go. You can boom this guy. I think it's. I like doing that personally. I don't know if it's objectively faster, but I think it's really comfortable. These cannonball RNGs are always fun. Again, there's all sorts of places you can pump or not. If you want to, you can pump walking through certain doors. This room is always fun. We'll just skip it. There's always RNG there that's going to be kind of a pain. You can slash them. You can slash to get them out of the way. I generally... Stalfos are the exception to just booming stuff to like deal with it. Because they don't take... Like if I boom a Stalfos, it only freezes him for like half a second. So if you need a Stalfos to get out of your way, generally you want to slash it. Alright, so Stalfos room. The way that this room works normally is there's a trigger in this general area. I don't know exactly what it is. Here. Like that. There's a trigger in this general area that causes those Stalfos to spawn. So what we do is we walk around it. We grab this pot and we come and we trigger it from over there. And it causes the Stalfos to spawn here, here, and then up there off the screen. And so... But you just like come over here and grab those two pots and throw them at them. And as you get cleaner with your movement, you can do like a diagonal there and stuff like that to get a little bit faster. But that's a fun screen to practice for a while. Yeah, I forget there were 4. If you mess up, like, it's gonna happen. Don't worry about it. But sometimes you'll get like a diagonal pat, or you'll get like an extra one. Or if you accidentally throw the pot, so if you accidentally like throw this pot down or up, which I've done before, like you'll have an extra one. So if that happens, don't worry about it. You can just grab that pot and kill the other guy. It loses like a second, but it's not a big deal. So then, now we just move on to, this is like the big lobby room. We're gonna skip those arrow pots for now. We want to come down here and grab this pot. This pot has an arrow in it. We need all of the arrows we can get. They're pretty well routed out with arrow pots in getting stuff. There's a heart here if you need it. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Generally speaking, people will tell you to like walk down here so you can see where you're at, so that you can diagonal into that staircase. But now we're gonna move into like this dark room. You can slash that guy if you want to start working on rupees, because you do need like 10 rupees if you're getting well, you need at least 10 rupees regardless of what rupee routing you do. And so the popos are in the rupee pack that we care about. The first one drops a blue, then a green, then a blue, then a red, then a blue, green, and 2 blues, and then the cycle repeats itself. So you can kill this guy, or you can kill that guy if you want. You just hold down here and then boom or slash, and he'll drop a rupee that you can then pick up when you come back out of this room. So you grab that key and you make your way out. There's also a heart in the pot right there. Again, if you need it. And then this guy will sometimes be in your way. You generally want to boom him if so. Sometimes you can walk over him, sometimes you can walk under him. And then just a long walk all the way back over here. So this is a very important room. I'm just going to show you the good strat, where you do that. And you pick up the pot and skip having to deal with all the bullshit here. I think Pops made a video about how to like deal with this room. And you do things like kill all the guys, and it's a huge pain in the butt. Because of nonsense like this. And then you still have to come over here and do that. For beginners, I recommend, because you're generally going to have Sank Heart, and you should try and stay at like 4 health. The best strat for beginners and learning how to do this anti-fairy skip is just come over here, and you can just like, you get directly above the pot, you hold down the whole time, you get damaged, and then you pick up the pot and just keep walking down. It takes 2 hearts, so it takes an extra half a heart to do this way, but it's very consistent. You want to like, you kind of like want to nudge the top of this railing to get underneath this popo here. And then that's it. Just do this until you're more comfortable with something like getting under here and like bouncing off of that guy in that direction. Like, don't even, just come over here and 1, 2. You grab the key, cancel that text box. You want to boom that guy if he's in your way. Oh, right. Let's see if I can get him to go up. No, wrong one. Wrong RNG. Go the right way. There we go. Okay, so you see how he went up, and that's the direction we want to go. It's possible for him to go in the wall deep enough that you can just walk past him. In this case, he didn't. So what you want to do is you want to just go ahead and boom him, but you want to actually make sure that you're at least 1 pixel off of the wall before you do that, because that'll hit him. Because if he's far enough out that he'll hit you when you try and walk past, if you're 1 pixel off the wall when you boom him, then it'll hit him. Because it's possible to throw a boom. It's possible to throw the boom like right here, and it won't hit him, but you'll still get hit. So just when you're rounding this corner, just make sure that you're off the wall before you throw the boom, and then come back. Moving on, push the block, come back here. Now we're going to pick up these pots because we have the big key, so we're going to go get the big chest, which has the bow. You kind of have to deal with that guy. Slash him if you want to. You know, kind of get around him, get through that screen, and then this screen is called Gifted with Greenies in the practice hack because there's a really stupid strat in here that no one does anymore called Gifted with Greenies, where I don't really remember how you do it, so I'm not going to show you. But the proper strat in this room is you come over here, you can slash this guy if you want, and then if you haven't menued to the bow yet, the preset has you pre-menued to the bow. I like to menu on this screen, but like you menu here if you haven't already, and then you just walk to this wall, turn left, and fire an arrow. Oh, I'm actually wait. Oh, that's because I picked the preset. All right, I did here. The preset has you're on the bow already. If you're not on the bow, then you want to menu that. And that'll get you through the room. I like to do something more like this, where I shorten the distance there. That guy was still in the way, of course. And then you, picking up that pot, you have to be 1 pixel away from, here, let's get this guy out of the way. Of course. You cannot pick up this pot if you're up against the wall. You have to be down at least 1 pixel. to get the, or maybe 2 to get that pot. So you just want to be aware of that. So you just want to come at it from the middle, grab that thing, and then open the door. Anti-fairy room, everybody jokes about getting an anti-fairy room good enough that the anti-fairies aren't touching when you walk out the door. I don't particularly worry too much about that. I mean, I try and be fast, but the only way you're going to do that is if you do a proper stair lag cancel there, which again is holding left or right, and then you can transition to a diagonal after the fact. Anyway, moving on. You want to push that switch. You can do like, we call it air pumping if you're not pumping against a surface. So you open that, and then we come into the cannonball room, and we got more of the same. This is a really ugly pattern, but just get through it, and then we come to the Zelda gamer room. This is a room that can take all kinds of forms. If you're more comfortable with it, just come in here and grab. Of course, I get the worst RNG possible for it. Oh, that's why. Yeah. So you do that, and then you want to slash sideways when you walk through this door. This is a shutter door. And it will, because it's a shutter door, it'll like suck you in. So just be aware of that if you're trying to get yourself set up to do this next room. The reason we do that is because wait, where did my... Oh, of course, everything's... The reason that we do that is because we want to just kill all of these guys right here. That's fun. Otherwise, if you don't slash your sword, then you have to like kill them all individually, and that's no fun. Whereas if you're facing up when you do this, then you run the risk of like poking that guy. Sometimes you want to do that. That's getting into like some of the intricacies of like your money routing, and you want that particular popo to drop a rupee. So we're not going to worry about that. Just hold your sword out sideways and then come in and spin that guy. And then once you wake those guys up, wow, that was some fun RNG. They take 2 shots each, which you already learned from the guy before that. This is really hard to talk about and do at the same time. You want to be... You can be as close, like, just make sure that, like, when you're starting out, just make sure you're on either side of center. And you can whittle that down, whittle your movement down to, you know, I think right here and like right here, there's like a 3 pixel window of where you can hit them, and so you can just like keep it like super tight, like. But then after we do all of that, we come to the Armos fight. And I'll just do the basic strat. If you want to learn the pinkish strat, oh gosh, some people like to like, what do you guys do? Do you slash here so that you end up like? I don't understand that one never felt very good to me, but like you get yourself positioned up here, whether you need to slash off of that or whatever. But then you fire 5 arrows, and then you come over here and you fire 13 arrows. Learning to time your arrows is a pretty valuable skill, and I would while you're still a beginner, I would practice a lot of that in this room. And so, like the more advanced strat, it looks like this, where you can fire an extra shot. So you go 1, oh gosh, I can't hear the music, so it's messing with me. And there's even a more advanced strat still, but I think move too far left right when shooting up. Yeah, like I think the baby ZG double ready strat is more like you can do something like this. You don't have to be constantly like holding up. You can just like stay back here. So let's go ahead and move on. We have a lot to get through still. Actually, we don't have that much more. So we killed our first boss, we got our first pendant. And now we are making our way to Sahasrala's hut. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. There's really good like clean movement here. Like if you just hold diagonal there, you'll still jump off the ledge. So like hold diagonal here, and then hold left, and then either as you jump or before you touch the ledge, switch to down left, and you can just hold down left like a lot on this screen, and then you can just hold straight left from there. From here, you want to go up and around, and you can continue to just hold down left right there until you get to this room. So, but like remembering to. You don't have to like, the important thing is you don't have to be doing things like this. You don't have to be like, go around here and come down and turn left. Like you can just diagonal on this screen very, very easily. And it's about the most efficient movement you can do. So like there's no real reason to be trying to do something that's just going to lose time. Anyway, talk to Sahasrala, and if you're not getting here. Where's our dude? Oh, he's not even... Not helpful. If you are getting money from Sahasrala, why didn't it save? Anyway, like I said, lots of long, clean diagonals in this screen. Make it real easy. There. All right. Well, that one worked. All right. If you're getting money from Sahasrala, it's easy to like just use this torch to line yourself up with that pot. Well, that's not a clean vertical line. Because that's where we're gonna go. We're going up there. We talk to him a bunch, he gives us the boots, and then there's 2 more text boxes. And we can just walk up, grab that, and we're lined up to like grab this pot right here. And then we do what's called a dash turn, where we start our dash, and then we turn up before the dash starts going. So let's do this. All right, we got our boots. All right, so we bonked through, and we're gonna get. You can't bonk this thing if you're against this wall. So you want to you just want to round over this thing and then do like that. And then you just get everything in here. The bombs have a text box. The money does not. The bombs technically are not optimal, but while you're a beginner, I wouldn't worry about very strict routing on resources. So I would just go ahead and grab them. Then you have bombs that are available to you for... They're extras for when you're trying to work on bomb jumps and, you're still struggling with them. So just grab everything in here, and then just move down left a little bit and just dash out of the room. Now's where the fun begins. Right? So, oh, of course I missed the first one. Spin speed is a whole thing. What is happening? There we go. So the way spin speed works is you're doing two things at the same time. You are doing a spin, and you are starting to charge a dash. And you're doing that by releasing the B button and pressing the A button at the same time. So you go from having B held to having A held. And it puts you in a state where you no longer have a sword, because the game thinks that you're dashing. And so what you do is you walk onto one of these, we call them manual staircases, and then you just exit it cleanly. You know, where I talked about things like stair drag cancels earlier, being faster, I didn't really talk about like manual staircase stair drag cancels, but you can do that here. But the thing you want to not do is like be on the staircase. If you exit the staircase cleanly, then you'll end up in what's called super speed. But if you accidentally like turn sideways, then it won't do it, because you have canceled the routine that says, oh, you were running, you're supposed to be moving fast. So that's something to keep in mind. You always want to exit staircases cleanly. And so once you've done that, then you come down here and walk this way. And then once you jump off that ledge, you lose super speed, and you have to... Yeah, something walking chewing gum. I don't really understand why, it just does it. It puts you in a really funky state. So let's... Yeah, you want to dash that, pull your sword out there, and then that dude can totally like get in your way. That guy generally won't. You can like come over here because you want to be lined up with this statue here. So like, you want to, as you're like going around here, you want to like make sure that you come back and you're not like stuck there. There are so many things to actually think about. This screen is always fun. Is there a bridge screen? Perfect. If you just dash, you're gonna clank that guy, and then that archer is gonna see you. And that's always fun. It's actually kind of nice to just block arrows. But so what you do is you hold up left out of the screen, and it puts you... I'm not sure why, but like when you dash here, you do what's this slope tends to put you away from this wall, and that's what's causing the problem. So to correct it, we just do an up left before we start dashing, and that's what causes us to dodge that guy, and it doesn't aggro the guards. And then you can get over here and dash and dash and dash some more, and then keep dashing all the way to the library. If you do accidentally tank this guy, just try and get out of the screen as best you can. Otherwise, you're going to lose lots of time. If you're fast, you can still get it, but like just be careful with that screen. And then you're supposed to like dash through those bushes and do that. And then these right here we call the annoying bushes. I'm gonna kill these guys so I can mess around with them. The best place to dash is right here, but it's a lot easier for some runners to just come here and dash down through the middle, which is totally fine. Let's go back. I'll make a save state. Like it looks like that, but if you're more comfortable doing this, that's totally fine. Depending on how much you like doing spin speed or feel comfortable with it, there's a couple different ways to handle this screen. for beginners, generally speaking, you're going to want to come down here until you come to this little slope. Dash to the left. Dash past that guy. You can cut that pretty well. Like, you see that guy wasn't anywhere close to, like, hitting me. So, like, we'll just go ahead and save this here. You dash through this line, and then you can actually, like, cut it, like, you can just walk, like, the barest little bit right here, and then dash up, and you'll probably beat the guy. It looks like this. If your movement's clean, then it's fine. But if you don't feel comfortable with it, just walk, you know, a bit up there, and then without spin speed, you need to be off of this wall, right? So when you come around this corner, just hold up left again, so that when you start your dash, you're away from this wall, because otherwise you're gonna bonk on that bush. And of course I did. I'm trying to think of where, yeah. So like if you come in here like this, you're gonna bonk, and you can't even slash that bush, which is weird. But if you're off the wall, then you'll dash through it, and you want to come through here and dash like this. And I think you still bonk here. I'm not really sure. You do, yeah. So you have to cancel your dash to walk up the staircase, and then come in here and go to the library. If you're doing spin speed, you'll dash up here, right? And then you just have your sword out. And then you do spin speed on this screen, and then you do it there, and then you just walk up the stairs and go in the door. That takes us to the library, which is where the book is, and we just have to bonk this wall. A good visual cue for this, you can be as far to the left as... is this good? This one I think is good. Yep, this right here is this E50 is the furthest to the left you can be. Because if you're on E51, or whatever it is, you'll just nudge around this bookcase. So you kind of want to... I look at these tiles right here, so like this guy, and make sure that like Link's head is like lined up with it, and then you just dash up there. As long as you bonk, it'll knock the book down and you pick it up. And then we dash all the way down and we come out the door. All right, so from here we have a couple of different, like if we're just doing the normal route, furthest to the right. Yes, that's correct. Can you even? I don't think you can. I don't think this is actually good. You know what? I'm curious now. Ooh, maybe not. Yeah, I probably just go this way. I'm not going to sit here and like live lab a bunch of stuff out. If you want to use spin speed, you can to like get through this screen, but the safety, whoops, that's not even correct. Goodness gracious, Corey. So borrowing a little bit from 100%. If you want safeties, then you want to come over here and open this chest because it has a bottle. And if you want to go even further than that, you're already here, you may as well. You take this bottle and you show it to the sick kid. And he'll talk to you a little bit. And then he'll give you the bug net. And from there, you can kind of do whatever. I don't actually have the money to go and buy this bottle. But this dude right here, he sells a bottle for 100 rupees. So if you need 2 bottles, then that is a choice. And then you just leave. And it's nice because you can just kind of leave this way. So you either get a bottle or not. Let's put the early bottles. Where are we? Does this give us... We got 2. Oh, okay. All right, well, we'll go back here and talk about how we... If you're not doing that, you want to come down here. This is a pretty decent spin speed to try and do if you're just leaving normally. You just come around here, dodge that bush, and off you go. If you are doing, this is talked about in a different video that Popsicle Sticks made, but if you have, here, let's do this. Nope, this one. Oh. I guess you can dash all the way down here. So that's a good way to get an extra fairy. If you don't have it, you just dash a little bit down. Oh gosh. Dash until you're below this line of bushes. Like, look for that middle bump there. And then carry onward. But picking up those early fairies is a good safety. I would urge newer runners to be looking to drop that safety as soon as they feel comfortable with it. Oh, I didn't talk about this guy at all. This guy is a pain in the butt. He will prevent you from doing a good slope dash here. So you just hold upright when you come onto this screen, just to make sure that you don't accidentally clank him, and then you just kind of give him a wide berth here instead of trying to dash like right here down this slope. Just come all the way out here. Unless you're feeling greedy, because like you can like hit him like that and make it, but if he aggroes very quickly, then you're gonna have a bad time. So generally a good idea to just kind of keep it safe. All right, moving on to water dash. A lot of people like to menu to the book right here, because it helps set up this dash. If you're over here at all, then you do what's called a water dash. We call it splashy dashy, and it's slow, so you want to watch out for that. Something to keep in mind: if you get the bottles, you don't have the good menu to get here, so you have to go down, left, or right, because the good menu is just like one to the left, but you have a bottle there. So just keep that in mind. Is there a preset for this? I think there is. Water dash. And of course I have all of my safeties turned on. Where are they? They're in preset config. Safeties. Off. Oh wait, we'll leave that on. Nope. Ah, try this again. Because when you... Oh, I still messed it up. I don't do this menu. I just kind of YOLO this. But you want to like nudge around that bush so that you're like lined up on the grid here. Oh, did I click the thing? Sorry. Alright. And then we just round this guy. And we dash down here. That guy is kind of a pain. So there's a couple different ways that you can handle this screen. You can dash down early, you can dash down late. But you generally want to kind of like try and follow that specific pattern. Hello. And then we're gonna come over here. Like find whatever, like while you're doing a bunch of these screens, find whatever works for you, whether you dash early and kind of like cut that, or if you like dash between the bushes, just do whatever you can to like avoid the crow, because that's a pain in the butt. And we're gonna dash up here, dash through here, dash down, and then you want to be no higher than, I think this. There. This is I think the highest you want to be. You can be lower than this, but any higher you're gonna run into that cactus. And from there you want to be like on this first sloped tile. And then you come over here to the stairs, and if you're already on the book, then you talk to this guy. And then I like to just mash B to get it to cancel the prayer, the hymn, whatever. And then we come around here, we do some more stair pumps if you want. And we are into Desert Palace, and that's the end of the segment route that we're going to talk about. I guess we do have a bit of time. We have a nice chunk that we can talk about specific things that we want to mention. But let's go back. Let's like recap some of the stuff that I kind of alluded to. Right, stair pumping and stair cancels. Like I said, if you're going up and down one tile manual staircases, stair pumping, which is just wiggling like that. You can do it one-handed as well, which is something I do in Eastern Palace. But I don't. I do that just for personal preference. I think most people generally find it easier to do double pumping, which is just wiggling. And then at the top of the staircase, you can do. There's a couple different ways to cancel these. I wouldn't worry too much about it, but like either tap A and you notice he starts walking like normal walking speed, or turn left and right for 1 or 2 frames. Did I go over the beginner strat? I showed the 5 and 13. And I kind of tried to set it up, show the beginner setups. We can go back and look at that, because that's like the main boss fight that we have in this route. Right, you come up here, you can like walk against this guy, and then, oh gosh, yeah, don't do that. If you need to mash this, like as you're learning how bow mechanics work, if you need to mash this, like that's totally fine. Here is a little more difficult, because you're more likely to you're more likely to overshoot. So like right here, you don't want to fire 6 arrows. You want to only fire 5. And if you're mashing, then I can't even do it anymore. I don't even know how people... But like, as far as like where you start, yeah, I can't see. Like, I mess up if I'm trying to mash now. Like, there's like a pattern you can. That would have been so cool if that worked. Yeah. I mean, mashing is a thing you can do here if it feels comfortable for you, but I would definitely urge newer runners to start working on their bow mechanics. That's just it's going to help you in the long run. I think bows take 20 frames to fire, so you can fire 3 arrows every second. And it's important to remember that if there's an arrow still on the screen when you try and fire a shot, it won't do anything. So like, I would just come into like rooms like this and just learn how to be comfortable walking around the screen with a bow. Like, well, next week we'll talk about the Landmo fight. Whoever, I forgot who it is, whoever is going to like guide you through that, we'll talk through some drills on dealing with the Landmolus fight and getting more comfortable with bow mechanics. But like, the Armless Knights is a good like preview for like how to deal with some of that stuff. Yeah, oh gosh, I don't like that strat. I like to just come in here, come down, and then be a little bit. See, just do backups. It's fine. Meowski's doing Lambo RTA. Let's go. Yeah, guys, that I got through that a little faster than I thought I was going to. If you want a bit, I can kind of talk about my philosophies of like learning how to be comfortable with like specific kinds of movement. But I'm also happy to just take like general questions about this segment of the route. Go over the bat and Dark Cross. Sure thing. Where are we? Nope. Alright, Dark Cross. So, like I said, you don't want to... If you move to the right too early, that will aggro the bat. So the two ways to do that are just wait before you diagonal here, or you can do air pumps to get to this wall. And then you need to boom that guy. And then the next part of it is making sure that you don't walk off of this wall. So like when you go around this corner, you want to like... Let's just kill these guys because they're in the way. Like as long as you stay on this wall, this Keese will not aggro. But as soon as you do that, then he will. And so like just learning to be comfortable with like nudging this corner right here is going to be really helpful, because as soon as you go above it, then he's gonna come off the wall and probably be in your way. Like as soon as you do that, then now you don't know where he's at. sometimes it's nice and it doesn't matter. But that's, yeah, as long as you stay against this wall right here. And the way that you do that is when you're when you're within half a tile of clearing this wall, right? So like, what is, go away. All right, so this is F0. So anything above F8. If I'm on F8, I won't nudge the wall, but if I'm anything above that, then I will nudge the wall. So just like there's the visual cue for that is looks like Link's eyes are like just below this line. And your feet are like really close to this one tile. Where's the, yeah, your feet are like touching this line. And you can just nudge around it. Let's talk about Link's movement and being in relation to collision. We can talk about the practice hack too. Yes. So let's see. Basic mechanics primer. Link is a square. Link is a square of approximately this dimension. Does this work? Oh my god, can I just have this? Oh, I have to be away from the door. Okay, so Link is a square, right? Like he cannot go beyond the bounds of this square. Right? So you see how the top of the square lines up with the wall? Like these are the bounds that Link can traverse. And so like trying to go around these corners. Companion cube, yeah, exactly. So this is the stuff that this actually also affects like whether enemies are going to hit you. So like if you're like trying, like as you get really good at being able to like just barely go around and like dodge certain enemies, remembering that like the top of Link's head is not actually there, will be like really helpful. But like yeah, just remember that Link is the opposite of a companion cube. He is the cube. So like this is helpful in like certain, let me think about this. Certain screens like stealth room. We'll go past the first key guard. No brain link, yeah. I'm watching my preview instead of the thing. So like on this screen, as we're like trying to like do lots of diagonals to like round through a bunch of this stuff, you can clear this pot. Ow. Ow. I'm glad I made a save state. Is there a collision view in the practice hack? I don't know that. I don't think so. That would be really nice. But I believe that's not. I think that the closest we have is like Fox has made. There are Lua scripts that someone can dig up for emulators. Yes, I think that's the closest we have. And then there have been like a few attempts to like catalog what some hitboxes look like. I agree that would be a very useful feature. I don't know if the Effects Pack Pro and all of the tools that are used by the SA1, like the practice hack using the SA1 chip, are capable of doing things like that. I am not sure. It might be because it does things like it can display sprites for sentries. So like I don't remember where this is. Game state, no. Link state, no. Visible probes. Is it this one? Yeah. So, like, that's the guy's looking at me. Oh, he can't see me. That one can. So, like, it can do that. I think that's the closest that we have right now. I don't think it actually does collision. He missed. I'm trying to think of a better screen where there's, like, examples of how to get through, like, specific rooms. Oh, that would be a fun one to practice. Using the sentries to see exactly where and how they can... Exactly how far you have to go up to dodge the thing. It's like, right here is a pretty good heuristic. Like, touching Link walking along... Get out of here, companion cube. Like, Link walking along this line. Is a pretty good... Because then you just have to, like, go back down and go around that pillar. Change your sprite to a full rectangle? Yeah. That's the thing you could do. But, like, there's also, like, things like sword slash hitboxes that would be good for people to learn about. Spin attack hitboxes, which are deceptively large. The spin attack hitbox is, like... something like that. It's actually bigger than that. Like if you're holding your sword out, I'm pretty sure that the hitbox for this is like right here. It's something disgustingly small, which is why sometimes when people are fighting Moldorm and they're holding their sword out and they're trying to like poke the thing, you just don't get a hit, and you're like, why? I'm like walking through him. What's happening? It turns out your poke hitbox is tiny. Yeah, I agree. We should do a better job of cataloging a lot of these things. It would be really helpful to people to understand the mechanics. We can certainly put that question to people with the resources, the tools to develop resources like that. I agree, though, that it'd be helpful to have, like, after in my case, right, I over however many months and years of running this game, I got and it developed an intuitive understanding of some of these properties of hitboxes and mechanics of stuff. Oh, poke mechanics. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. So, while you have your sword out, you can poke things. You can also, like, aggro this guy. But if you touch something while you're poking your sword, Link puts it away. If you release the B button, if your sword is fully charged, and you poke something, and then you release the B button before he puts his sword away, you'll still do a spin attack. Which is why we say just go ahead and, like... But if you are too slow, then he will put the sword away, and then you don't have... Like, then you just, like, end up walking into the guy. Oh, you actually have, there's a window here for this, the way this strat works, because if you have your sword out already, then he will he'll turn, you'll be too slow to get over there, and he'll turn and his sword will get in the way, and then you're just getting into a sword fight, and it's really bad. The answer is that it's impossible to add collision view. Okay. I had a feeling. What else about... We don't have boots here. It is possible to save your sword out, if you have boots, by charging a dash. or doing some other thing. And those are like advanced tactics for like later boss fights when you have all of these other tools. Um, but it's important to at least understand that like you can poke with as you can use the sword out as a poke to deal a little bit of damage and then get a spin off after the fact. And so yeah, something to be mindful of as far as how like sword slashes work. Another that like sword slashes themselves are like a whole series of different hitboxes. Like I think that might not be the first frame. I think that's the first frame that actually deals damage. There's like a few little hitboxes here. And then they move down here. And then they move out here. And then down here. And then randomly, like around here, another one up here comes back. And then there's like this, it's so, there's a bunch of really stupid stuff with these sword slash, and they change depending on which direction you're facing. But it's like the same thing where they're kind of like they start over here and then they slowly come across this way. And you actually saw it like in where is it? Throne room? No, sewer rooms. After, I think it's into sanctuary. Nope, it was key rat. After key rat. After the key rat, when you come in here and you've got all of these guys to deal with, like sometimes it's nice to like have, if you're really comfortable with how those hitboxes work, like sometimes if rats are like getting in your way, then you can, of course they're not getting in my way. Like you can learn like about how far offset from an enemy you can be and still hit it. But that's stuff to you'll develop a lot of this stuff just going through escape over and over and over again because it's escape. Do I slash or boom this rat when he gets in the way? It depends. Let me see if I can get the... So like that guy right there. When this guy comes down, he's on this line right here. And if you throw the boom, it will not hit him. And so you either have to like walk off of the wall to boom him, or I just like to slash him. The reason we go to the wall is because it lets us like pump. Like you can do this room a little more straightforward. Like, right? You can just like, as long as that guy's not in your way. Like a lot of times if that guy's coming down, like you kind of have to like dodge him. But so let's go get a better RNG. I hope it's not set. Right. I'm not sure how much of the room is actually loaded. Like you can go straight right here. And just like slash your way through. But it's generally clearer to come over here because those you can just walk around the keys to get through there. So that's why we do that. But yeah, you just have to watch out for that one middle guy because you can't boom him. You will. Oh, you can't. What? I'm confused. I think it's mostly because if you're sitting there pumping, it's really easy to accidentally just like throw the boomerang into the wall. So I got nothing on that one. What other things? Let's see. Let's go back and talk about the practice hack because we wanted to do like more of like denoted.
Sorry, we don't have time for practice hack discussion, but you can discuss anything else you like.
Okay. I mean, there's just like bits and pieces of it that, like the big thing is like just come in here and use all the presets and go through all the rooms you want as often as you want, over and over and over again. That's the main thing to use it for, and occasionally you can like give yourself different stuff. Those are the main ones for just starting out with practice hack. A lot of the rest of it is for like glitched runners to be able to like recreate very specific situations and all the crazy runs that they do. So don't worry about basically everything underneath under here. Like Room Master, oh my gosh, no. Set up your shortcuts however is usable to you. And yeah. I think that's all I got. Like we said before, like there's a million things to learn about this game, so I want to like what's the word? Like if it feels overwhelming, that's why we mentors are here. Like to help you like sift through the truly prodigious amount of information that is out there about this speedrun and even how to get better at it. So like be sure to ask us any questions you guys want. Lean on us to help you focus on the stuff that's going to be truly useful. And you know, just remember that it's a process.
Do you have anything else to add, Corey?
No, not really. I think I've covered I think I covered everything.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry to cut you off about the practice hack. We have 3 resources for that. So I'm just going to have the mentees go through that. And then, yeah, you're good. Okay, so we'll just briefly go over real fast what's happening next. So generally the groups, you know, talk with their mentor, set up when you're going to practice, either together or individually. Follow the structure of the program if you're new. If you're working on more specific things, you know, just communicate your needs with your mentor. Like Corey said, the reason why they signed up to mentor is because they want to help teach you guys. So please take advantage of their time in a respectful manner. And yeah, so next Saturday coming up here, we will have our first progress race. So let me pull up the schedule and get the time for you. That is going to be on Saturday, February 7th at 2 p.m. Eastern. Progress Race 1, and we will be displaying 4 mentees. And to be displayed on the restream for this race, you need to give consent. So you're not going to be put on a ZSR restream unless you want to be. Any further information about the restreams can be found in the video guide that Mentor Blue provided. We will be sharing the VOD that Corey just made when it's done and published, so that the mentees who missed it can go back and watch, or if you missed something and you were watching and you need to slow it down, come back and review what he's doing, or just, it'll be there. We're not going to delete them. And then the next lecture will be done by Mentor Miowski, also known as Where's the Money Miowski, or Nash. And he's going to be picking up where Corey left off and going forward with the next section. And that has been scheduled as well. So let me tell you when he's going. He is scheduled to present on Sunday, February 8th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's all the info I have for you guys right now. Thank you again, Corey. Good luck for all of our mentors and mentees. And yeah, thank you for being here. And special thanks again to Trez for all of his help.